Streaming.
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Listed. Here's.
Dope. Alright. Link. I'll make a post. I'll make a post for the boys.
Not giving me the correct linking.
How did you fix that last time?
I had to like.
Didn't
Go to
you go to YouTube Studio or whatever? Or the dashboard? Huh. What the crap? Oh, what the freaking crap? View comments first.
Thanks.
I'm gonna thumbs up that one.
Elevated noob matched with ancients because he lost MMR. Oh, he lost MR. You know, that's also true.
Dude, I've matched with ancients before, dog.
Dude.
Not fun. Not fun. Okay, there's the stream. I will post that on the Patreon. I'll put in the Alchemy too. We don't have a Discord server for questions in Alchemist, do we?
No.
That would be too much of a pain because there's a lot of people, right?
No. Definitely do that.
Is there a way to set it up on Patreon to give the role automatically?
Yes.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. That's how all these people are in Illuminati.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean,
Patreon.
I can just make a third one.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Okay, I'll post this for now though. Link. This is Alchemy Answers. Which one? Alchemy Answers 18?
Yeah, I did 18 by myself, and I just figured it wasn't a real one. Kind of me chat. So
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Come. Oh my god. Donnie and Jenkins are live with Alchemy Answers 18. Answering questions about Dota, life, and space-time.
Quantum physics.
Sure, I can fuck with that. Okay. Patrons only. Select tier. Questions and Alchemist. All right. Published. Great. Here we are. We're live. Do we have anybody in here yet? Usually David is on point with this. Usually he's immediately in here. Let me open the stream. Oh my god, the embed link isn't fucking working. I have to.
Jorge.
Oh, Jorge. Jorge's always here too. Jorge, the guy who, the god whose name I mispronounced the very first time we met. All right, I'm trying to figure out how the hell to get this stream link to actually work
On Patreon.
Is there like, yeah, is it like gaming? Is it embed?
Maybe.
God. YouTube/embed. Okay. Okay, I got it. So it's the same format as the YouTube embedded links, except there's nowhere that it says. Okay, sweet.
Okay, cool.
That should work. Oh my god. Okay. Wait a minute. No, that made this link work, but it just, instead of like just embedding, and playing on Patreon. Oh my god, kill me! It links you to like a full screen version of the stream, and that's like totally useless. But if I put it back to the like regular stream, it doesn't even link you to it. Oh my god. Okay, but how are people gonna ask questions? How do we normally do this?
Just post link, regular link.
Am I a moron? Let's look at this. Let's see if this works. You basically changed your name to George. Yeah, my mother-in-law's name is Jersey, and she just takes it. If you want to call her Dirk or Dursey or Deersey or whatever the hell, she's cool with that. Oh my god. Yeah, I have to change this to the embed link, or it just doesn't work.
Ooh. Well, eventually. Okay. Okay. Well, eventually.
Oh, cool. Notify patrons about this change. Okay, well there you go. I just linked the stream in the comments, so we're Gucci. We're Gucci. How did you get here, Jorge? Was that from the Discord? I'm assuming it's from Discord. Okay, we can start whenever.
Okay.
Although maybe we should wait for.
Currently,
it's Jorge.
Jorge, and I want to ask all the questions you've ever wanted to ask about Dota. That's also fine, but
sure, yeah, go for it.
A lot of pressure, I understand.
Maybe we should get some calendar set up. How do other people deal with this?
Yeah, I should probably stop playing video games and actually work on for our patrons.
But we make videos about video games. How can we talk about degenerate gaming if we're not degenerate gamers? How is it possible?
I've been playing too much auto chess to be.
Is it really that addictive?
Because a game and also watch a movie and you can do things at once.
So it's Hearthstone, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. How many people we got in here? Just Jorge?
Yep.
One watching now. I think this is me. Oh no, it's Jorge. It's Jorge. Okay. You've been playing too much auto chess? I haven't touched it because I want to be productive, so I know when not to touch something. And that seems like something that you should not touch.
Yep. So then begs the question: want to open the stream up or no?
To everybody. Let's see, Jorge. What do you think about that? We're thinking with Alchemy Answers, we can open the stream up to everybody, but only take questions from Patreon supporters. Which I think that's valid for, like, because obviously, like, you know, we don't have a audience of like millions or something like that. So in terms of Patreon supporters, it's a small percentage that would support on Patreon, and then an even smaller percentage that are going to be here at the time. So it does kind of make sense. Maybe we can like just prioritize questions from Patreon supporters. Like, we can go into the Discord channel for anybody who's like questions an Alchemist tier, and do it like that. How's that sound?
Yeah, we just need to make sure that that tier of patrons feels like they're getting the value that they thought they were getting. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. How many people is that? It's actually not that many people.
Yeah. 4 people went for the higher tiers, actually.
Yeah. There's 15 people that are an effort is for friends.
Yeah.
That's maybe we should make the Philosopher's Stone one less, so more people would be like inclined to do it.
Yeah, I mean, have this discussion off stream later.
Sure. Okay, you can open it up to the public. So yeah, if you have any, so if you're a Patreon supporter, we'll just look into Discord first for questions, and then we'll go to the YouTube for questions.
All right, it is now public.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, sweet.
What's your one question, Jorge?
Well, Jorge, you can just Jorge is part of Alchemy, so he can just put anything that he wants in there, and we'll just answer it first. So that I feel like that makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. We can see how it goes. Play it by ear.
So it's public now.
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking. Where are you in here, Jorge? What's your tag? Does this not show people that are offline? Where's Excel? I don't think it does. Are you on Discord, Jorge? No, you're not. You know where? Yeah, it doesn't show people that are offline in the Alchemy thing. Okay, I got you. So Jorge's not on Discord. He's just on the YouTube. AG. Double roamer comp in 2K. Hey, let me know when you want to officially start, Donnie, and we can officially start. Maybe we don't want to wait for a couple people. Or we can just start. Whatever you prefer.
All right, I'll just do the.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Welcome to Alchemy Answers episode 18. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we are excited to be back with another Q&A podcast. We are looking forward to taking as many questions as we can over the next hour or so. And if you missed the stream, be sure to check it out. You're in podcast form through our Anchor FM or on YouTube, which it will be pretty much immediately afterwards, available for everyone to watch. So with that being said, fire away.
Important note. Obviously, the stream is now public for anybody who's watching live. So we are doing the replay review sessions every Thursday live, and we're doing Alchemy Answers live as well, just for a number of different reasons. But to obviously benefit the people who want to go the extra mile and support us on Patreon, we will take questions from Patreon supporters first, and then replays from Patreon supporters first as well. But with that being said, it's a small percentage of people that show up to the stream, a small percentage that, of course, support on Patreon. So it's like you can still get your replays reviewed and stuff like that. It's just that if you want the guarantee, you know, it sounds like I'm selling myself right now. That's not what I'm trying to. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying we're changing the format. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So
show enough.
All right, dude. So let's look at this.
All right. So Jorge asks, I've been struggling with a double roaming comp. Okay, any advice? People see cores alone, and my team aren't rotating much at the moment. What role are you playing, Jorge? Are you carry? Are you playing mid? Are you playing off lane? And regardless of what your answer is, should be if this is happening regularly, you should be expecting it. Okay, so mid only. Well,
okay.
There are certain heroes that have been picked in perpetuity pretty much when there are strong roam. And those are heroes that tend to be very self-sufficient by themselves. In lane, they also tend to be heroes that have innate regen or ways to sustain themselves in lane. A very good example of that is Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight is one of the most popular heroes in competitive simply because he can't really be roamed on, or he costs too much to be roamed on to really make it that worthwhile. So if you're picking heroes like Shadow Fiend and Zeus in a roaming meta, you're basically just asking to get fed on by the other.
Yep. I think another adequate solution is to pick a hero that can quickly push the lane and then go jungle, because one of the harder things about roaming to the mid lane right now, and it's only hard if you actually implement it in your games, is just the fact that it's so efficient to push out the lane and go farm the nearby medium camp that is there, and honestly the rest of the jungle, just because with the jungle giving more gold in 7.20 and the jungle camps um, being in a way that you can hit multiple at once, like let's say with Medusa or something like that, it's very efficient to just push the lane out and go jungle. So if you are playing a Shadow Fiend or a Zeus and you're against two roamers, the only problem that you're going to have is the problems that you've created by staying in that lane. Zeus maybe not so much, because I mean that hero, there's kind of a reason it's not picked. It's not just this, but it's very hard to push the lane and then go jungle with Zeus because it costs so much mana. Any hero who is basically stuck in the lane and is going to just be sitting there and lane dominating, if you're able to be roamed on, then of course roamers are going to like completely destroy you. But if you're a lane dominator like Shadow Fiend, for example, and you sit in the lane against roamers, you're going to get dominated. But you can still play Shadow Fiend in a game where there's roamers and not get dominated and still dominate, because you can dominate the lane in the time that you're there. But when you feel unsafe, push the lane out and go jungle. Like, you just need to make sure that you are playing the correct way against these roaming heroes, as well as picking the right heroes. You know what I mean? Like, same thing goes for Tinker. Very easy to roam on, but also very hard to roam on if you look at it from a different angle, where like he can just march out the wave and then go jungle. And how do you roam on somebody who's not there? You can't. You have to go into the jungle, which is a much more dangerous and well thought out play that the enemy team has to make. So basically what I'm saying is there are ways that you can play against roamers, and really the main way is just that pushing the wave and abusing the jungle. And if they are roaming on you and you're not there, well, then you're going to win the game and get more farm, because they're wasting their time, and you're getting more farm because you're getting the lane farm and the jungle farm as well.
Yep. All right, next question by Zebez, who asks, I'm a bit late, but I've been having a lot of problems dealing with Grimstroke as a 4/5. What would you recommend to specifically help deal with him? So you probably play against, I mean, I don't know. I guess everybody probably plays against like Grimstrokes at this point. But you see him more against you as a 5, or do you see games?
Do I?
Yeah.
5. Mostly 5.
Okay, so he is usually against you in offlane then. Thing.
Yeah, for the most part. It's like that hero is honestly kind of like tapered off, I guess. Like, people are not giving it as much respect as it once had when it was first added to the game. Like, he's actually not that strong of a laner. It's just a relatively strong kill hero. But there are numerous ways of dealing with him. Like, basically, if you have some hero that is not going to allow him to get close, and so basically the way Grimstroke wins the lane is like, you pick a fighting lane, they pick Grimstroke, you fight into the Grimstroke wins because you're fighting them. So like the way to beat that is to pick a lane that doesn't care for fighting. So for instance, like let's say you pick some Bane plus, I don't know, some really hard to kill carry that's
Bane
like
Marana might be pretty good.
Yeah, Bane Marana is a good example. Weaver, I mean even Troll to some degree, because he just has like the slow methodical harass and he can go ranged for him. And if your support pulls, it's like Troll doesn't have to fight. Like, you can just not fight it, and then Grimstroke's going to be dumpstered. But the reason that Grimstroke is not considered to be like the best 4 role anymore is because if you just pick a stronger fighting lane than the Grimstroke lane, the Grimstroke has the only option available is to basically fight you. So if you pick like a Jug Lich against a Grimstroke, you will destroy the Grimstroke, because like he can't kill you, and then you can also kill him, and he'll feed because he's just like a squishy Lion Rubik type support. So basically, like, you need to pick a stronger fighting lane than Grimstroke if you want to fight into it, or you pick a lane that just doesn't fight at all and just doesn't care about the Grimstroke skill potential. And then he'll probably leave. But the thing is, if you're forcing your Grimstroke to leave the lane because you're doing either of these things, you can't roam. Like, he's not good at roaming mid. He's not good at like roaming between lanes and stuff like that. Like, he's not some Earth Spirit that can get right on top of you, or a Tusk that can snowball. Like, it's a lot harder for him to roam. So you can really punish this hero by just not playing into the style of Dota that he likes, or doing it so much better that he has to leave and he's just feeding, then you'll actually just win games against Grimstroke, because that's a huge limitation of the heroes, that it can't roam.
Okay, cool. Next question by God Gave Me Style is what do you do when you crush safe lane, take early on at 6? Where do you go as a carry at that point?
There's a few options available to you. It just depends on what you're comfortable allowing the enemy team to have. So the worst option is to like try to play around the enemy tier 2. That's a really good way to die. That's a really good way to give farm to the offlaner. Safe farm to the offlaner. Basically, your play is either you pull the lane back and just lane normally as if the tower is there, and then you continue on with your game from like the points at which you would if the tower was there, or you can roam to mid lane or to the off lane, and you can get that tower as well. The only issue with that is if you leave, you're giving the offlaner some free farm. So even if you get the early tower, sometimes it's better to just like pull the lane back using the hard camp or the easy camp, and then essentially sit there for like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe a little bit less, acting as if there's a regular laning stage where you didn't get that tower, because it's still the same situation. In fact, it's worse for the offlaner. Like there's nobody that can TP in to save him because there's no tower there. So it's very important that in that moment where you take the tower, you don't just, you can push one wave, but then you want to pull the lane back, or you just want to leave. It's one or the other. It's not both. What you could also do is you could like, leave and then have a support pull the lane back, and then the support farms there, and then it's even unsafe for the offlaner to farm against the support because they're so far up. So like you could actually get a lot off the map by doing that, and you could go jungle, for example, like let the support take the lane and then you pull it back, and then you go jungle, and then maybe 2 to 3 minutes later, when you would normally make your rotation, make the rotation. Because sometimes it's a little too early. Like, are you going to rotate on a level 5 jug to the off lane? Nah, you want Omni Slash before you roam. So it's like, you got to farm, but what do you do to farm that? You don't want to sit by the tier 2, basically.
Yeah, I was just going to add that basically it's sort of like a flowchart. The first question would be, can I go immediately push another objective? If the answer is yes, like let's say you're a Visage with a early Dominator or something like that, and you have birds up, then maybe you can just immediately go to the lane and take the tier 1 there as well, for the safe lane. Or are you a gyro with an IO pairing that can immediately just go to off lane and make that kind of like classic C deck rotation and take over their safe lane tower as well? But if the answer is no, then you ask yourself, okay, well, do we have a greedy support that needs farm, like a Phoenix perhaps, that could really benefit from being in the lane, or an Earthshaker? Am I a hero that can jungle effectively? And then if those answers are no, then you probably go with the option that Jenkins was talking about, which is where you kind of like play the lane normally as if there was a tower there, but you feel probably a little bit more safe, and maybe you ask your support to ward that cliff so you can patience that area.
Yep, makes sense. I like the Visage example. You definitely, like, if you're an early push hero, then you definitely want to just push as early as you can. Obviously, it's like that's one of the strengths of picking some of these safe laners, like Venge as well, basically. So let's see. There's a lot of chat. A lot of chat. Which situations is Sange and Yasha, Sange and Kaya and Yasha appropriate? There's a lot of questions before that, but I read that one, so I'll answer it.
Go for it.
Basically, anytime. Those items are just so cost efficient for like what they give you that it's almost never going to be a bad decision to get those items. And I would say that those items are basically like the best you're not sure what to get items to just give you effectiveness in the game, because stats are always going to be game winning. It's just that some of these items have abilities associated with them, obviously, like a Glimmer Cape, Force Staff, that is necessary against a certain draft. Let's say the enemy draft has a lot of single target, then a Force Staff would be very effective. Let's say the enemy team has a lot of like, I don't know, magic burst on one guy, then it's like Glimmer Cape would be super effective. Sometimes there are absolutely necessary items. Like if you're a Skywrath, there's a PA on the enemy team, you need a Ghost Scepter or a Glimmer, or she'll just jump on you and kill you. So sometimes like there are necessary items, and that's when you want to go for those. But basically, if you don't have an idea of like what to go, then any sort of stat items are going to be good. Going Scotty on any carry is going to be good. Going Sanjin Yasha on any carry is going to be good. These items are just so damn strong right now. They're essentially like the mid game null talismans and bracers. You're never going to be too upset going for them unless you're choosing to go for them in a situation where you need another item to win that game. Like there are honestly times in Skyrath recently where I have had a completely amazing early game and I'm just obliterating, and then I get a Kaya because it's just like the natural I want to do more damage, but I needed a Glimmer or a Ghost Scepter because there's a PA on the enemy team, and that PA kills me 3 times, and then I can't have any impact whatsoever. It's like that item was necessary for that game, not because it's fun, not because it makes me do more damage, but because it was the only thing that was going to keep me alive and continue snowballing. But in any other case where it's like I don't know what to get because there's nothing that's absolutely necessary, I would go for, a Kaya. And basically any int hero like a Kaya and Yasha, a Kaya and Sash is going to be good. Just depends on what you want between the status resist and the movement speed. But both of those stats are so broken.
I don't really have a whole lot to add to it. I mean, basically, just like just think about your hero. What does your hero do? Shadow Fiend, Agi hero who really likes attack speed and does a huge amount of magic damage. Like a Kaya Yasha is a reasonable choice, but you definitely want other items as well. Probably before that, like became that.
Sure.
Sanj Kaya Centaur, maybe, I don't know. Like I feel like that one is probably the least bought out of all nations.
Which one is?
Sanj and Kaya.
Oh, I mean, I always go Sanjin Kaya on like Tinker just because the status resist is like a pseudo protection for. I think it's actually still good, even though you're right, it is the least built one. But if if you're Tinker, like you obviously don't need the movement speed at all, so that's kind of like an exceptional example. Or if you're like Enigma or something like that, you wouldn't need the movements. I guess you could use it for positioning or whatever. Storm, you'd probably go for the Yasha as well because the attack. Yeah. But in any case, like Darkseer, I don't know. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
of examples
Yeah,
at this point.
I do think that having the additional strength for HP and also the stashes is probably something that people haven't really explored enough yet as far as that comes.
On Tinker, you can really screw with people because they stun you and then you just walk out of it and blink away and they're like, "What the fuck?" Because they're expecting their stun to last like a little bit longer. It's just really easy to like fog people on Tinker with that. But then again, Sash and Kaya, Kaya and Yasha wouldn't be that bad on him either. They're just all such good items. That's the thing. They're just so good.
Yeah. All right. Jorge asks, Dendi plus Mushi to Tigers. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think that's fine. I think he's playing mid, I presume, but I don't think Tigers had any issues with like individually skilled players for a long time. Like their last mid was the #1 rank, I believe.
Yeah, in
Southeast Asia. Yeah, so it's like there's no problem with like individual skill, and so maybe Dendi will bring some sort of competitive experience to them and keep people chill and calm and stuff like that. But that to me seems more of like something for Dendi. Like it's like you have a chance to get Dendi on your team, so you're going to take it, and then Dendi just like wants a good team, so he just picks like one of the best teams in Southeast Asia that's looking for a player, and it's Tigers. And yeah, like I said, I think what he's going to bring to the team is more what he brings as a teammate as opposed to as a player. He's a good player, obviously, but when you have Into Your Dream, it's like you weren't losing games because you had low individual skill. That was not why they were losing.
Yeah.
So
and they had Ajit for a carry who was insanely good.
Yeah, he's also like top 10 or something like that.
So I think honestly, as far as like skill cap goes of the team, it goes down a bit. I think that In Your Dream and Ajit brought more in terms of ceiling, like if they were able to get their mental game right, right, that they could have been an incredibly good team because they had access to like the entire hero pool with Meepos and stuff like that from Ajit, which I don't believe Mushi or Dendi plays really at that high of a level. That being said, competitive Dota is a lot more about communication and teamwork than individual skill at this. I think taking a small hit to your ceiling to have a more stable performance, probably a really ball, especially in a region
It
like
is.
SEA, where it does kind of feel like any team of like the top 5 or top 8 teams in go to a major at any given time this season. So
Yeah.
I actually really like the move for everybody involved.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I've always thought that like if you took a European team or a North American team and put them into SEA and give them the individual skill of the Southeast Asian players, that they would crush, because SEA is so like about just fighting and being balls to the wall that if you have like a team in that environment that doesn't just get crushed by that and doesn't make like ridiculous decisions like fighting on the enemy side of the map 2v5 and shit like that, then they would do very well basically. Like that's a huge problem with a lot of the SEA teams, is that they'll make like incredibly risky decisions and throw games.
Yep.
So games in SEA are really interesting, but they're super throwy. Like that's something you'll very rarely see in NA. In NA, there's like dumb individual mistakes, which is like bad plays and stuff. But strategically, like North America's really, really almost stubborn about like executing the strategy that they want to do and not just fighting for no reason. It's like, no, we're pushing this tower even if they get 2 racks.
Yeah.
Like that shit happens in North America, and I think strategically that's better. But as a result, like North Americans are worse at team fighting. Southeast Asia they're very, very skilled at team fighting because it's just what they do.
Yep. All right, here's another good question. It's actually 2 questions I'm going to combine into one. Is there ever a reason to run Blink on Juggernaut, and is Jug the best carry?
Yes, there's a reason to run Blink on Jug. Jug, you can Omni Slash and then Blink, so like you can Omni one person, kill them, blink to somebody else, and basically spill the Omni farther than it would go. So like you can literally just do more damage with Omni with Blink. And then also, if you're Jug versus some Sniper or Drow or OD or Arc Warden or any hero that is basically just going to fucking annihilate you if you don't get on top of them, then the only way to get on top of them in a fight is a Blink Dagger. Shadowblade is not enough because a good team will have sentries against you. Shadowblade is for ganking. Blink is for the fight has started, there's a single target that you need to eliminate, and you want to get right on top of them. That's what the Blink is for. The only issue is Blink has no stats on it whatsoever, and Jug obviously as a carry wants stats so he can do more damage, because otherwise, like, you spend 2,500 gold on some item that doesn't give you stats, 2,100 gold. But in any case, you spend a bunch of gold on an item that doesn't give you stats. Enemy team spends that money on stats. You blink on them, you Omni them. They don't die anyway because they have stats and you don't. Like, that's a problem. So generally, that's why people will go blink on Jug when they're ahead. And generally, people would be ahead on Jug because he's a carry. So he's going to be farming, and he'll be ahead of the heroes that he wants to kill. Like, he'll be capable of killing them. So that's why blink on Jug is good, in my opinion.
Yep. As far as Jug being the best carry in the meta, I would say no. I think he's probably one of the most stable carries in the meta, and he's a carry that can either farm for the late game or play more of a tempo controlling pushing hero because of the board ability to fight early, avoid a lot of magic damage in lanes. I don't know. I would say that based on the major, if we look at the actual the major that's going on right now, the most popular carries I believe are like Jug, Medusa, and Terrorblade probably still, I think.
I'm sure Terrorblade's always going to be good.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, so Jug is the most popular one, but he has a 45% rate. Terrorblade is the second most popular one, 61% rate. Third most popular, Phantom Assassin, 47% win rate. And then the next one is Medusa with a 55% win. So, to be perfectly honest, I still think that Terrorblade is the best carry in the game because he is a anti-carry to every other carry. Cannot fight a Terrorblade, and there is no other carry that takes buildings as fast as Terrorblade does. And the thing about TB is that he's just consistently strong in the laning stage with meta, strong in the early game with meta and reflection, strong in the mid game with meta and reflection, strong in the late game with just what Terrorblade does. So, not the best carry in the game.
Agreed. Visage is getting picked a lot too right now as carry. Like super early game centric carries. There's also like the picking a carry, like semi-carry-esque hero for mid, and then just going with like 2 side laners, like, Centaur or Darkseer or Timbersaw carry, something like that. That's also something we're seeing. And yeah, the like I guess a traditional like idea of what a carry is not really there in this major, just because it's being the one role, I should say, is being played from both mid and safe lane. So
yep.
People are doing a lot of interesting drafts. Sometimes there's like not even a hard carry. It's just like a bunch of semi carries.
Yep.
Newsham is spamming me with messages. Holy shit!
Tell him you're busy.
Just type something. No, he's watching.
Tell him you're busy.
He's watching, dude. Okay. Let's see. Lots of questions. 75 people. What's up, boys? What happened with Pugna? You both made videos there. Yeah, they shut down. Oh, there's Newsham. He's messaging. Okay. Or he put it into chat.
Yeah. So Pugna was a funded operation, and they went to secure a second round of funding and were unable to do so. So they ran out of money and decided to close shop because they were also working other jobs, and it just wasn't lucrative enough for them to continue to do that.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that. Not making videos not being lucrative. Just kidding. I'm just self-deprecating. Yeah, I have no issues with Pugna though. I like.
No, they're great. I mean, they paid on time constantly.
Guys. Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh yeah, they were really nice guys too.
They were
super smart.
They were a lot more upstanding than any of the other sites that I've worked with or talked with in my day.
I could agree with that. Is there any like specific sites that
No, I was just kind of making a general statement,
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, like in a general sense as well. Like
right.
There's no specific website or anything like that, but yeah, I got you. Okay, I really enjoy your videos, and I'll look into your Patreon. Question: what is your best advice? Actually, I'm not reading the question unless you subscribe to us. No, I'm just kidding. What is your best advice for a player wanting to go 3 to 4K MMR without having great mechanics? I think there's like a certain set of heroes that you can pick where if you don't have great, number one, I think you should definitely work on mechanics. Like I'm definitely not advocating just like saying fuck mechanics, but there are heroes. Like I was going to make a video on best heroes to win with lag, because I'm at my mother-in-law's right now, and I'm enjoying it here. I love being around family and shit. It's great. However, the internet situation is very weak. Just Arizona in general, like we're in Tucson, which is by Phoenix, and the internet's very bad here. It's like 100 ping to US East. And so as a result, the few games that I am playing, I have been picking heroes like Spirit Breaker, like Skywrath Mage, where it's more so about like knowing where to go in the early game and then just letting your team kind of carry you.
Yeah.
And doing easy shit in the, like with Skywrath or Spirit Breaker, you just go into a fight, use all your stuff, and you're done. You're good. At least in like the mid game, like that's enough for pubs. That's enough for winning pubs. Obviously, if we're talking competitive, you want everybody to do 100% of what their capability is. But in any case, in pubs, that works. And in the laning phase, it's more so about like knowing where to be, knowing the angles to go at. Like there's no like pudge rift, a pudge hook, and time things. So it's not like a huge mechanical thing in playing heroes. I would say your best bet is to fucking avoid playing carry or mid if you're trying to
just play
without worrying about mechanics. Yeah, sure. That's a good example of a hero, because you just go in, act like a piece of shit, and you're winning.
Yeah,
like you just
play Tide. Like a lot of people think that Tide is you have to have the perfect timing for your Ravage.
No,
but you literally just need to be like this giant body that people like. He just attracts people, and then you just press R, and even if you have like 1,000 ping, you have one action that you have to pull off at like a 5-second window for it to be useful. So yeah. Just play the heroes that can't die very easily by positioning mistakes, and play heroes that require little to no mechanical skill, but are still fun.
Good support to play in the Crusader bracket. Spirit Breaker, you're welcome. I just gained you 500 MMR.
Yeah, legit.
People cannot play against that hero in Immortal bracket. People just die everywhere on the map.
Yep.
There's just one point. You kill one guy, and then charge somewhere else, kill another guy. Boom, you won the game.
Yeah, and don't buy Midas. Buy a Spirit Vessel. And then go like Spirit Vessel, and then maybe go Blade Mail if you need it, Or you could go for just even like an early BKB is quite good on Spirit Breaker because he's just big, tanky, run around, you hit people in the face. I like to go Echo Saber because of the memes.
I mean, I'm sure you could just get 5 bracers, and that hero is going to be like ultra effective too.
You can also just go 5 bracers. That's pretty good.
I mean, Vlad's like the aura go the aura build. That seems pretty.
And just always buy a TP scroll. You charge from base, you hit somebody, you kill them, you TP back to base, refill your stuff, and then you charge out to another lane. You just can do that for the entire game, pretty much.
Yeah, that is true. But dragging and dropping items is like mechanical skills. So I don't know. Fuck that shit. Just charge. Just die charge, die charge, die charge. You'll probably win.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy. Is AM good this patch? I don't think so. I think it's pretty clear from watching the major that this hero is like he was definitely strong near the start of the patch, and I think like if the meta was different, he'd probably still be strong in his current iteration. But it looks like a lot of teams at the very least, which of course this is going to dictate how pubs are picking too, are picking really early game centric stuff. So it's either like these teams will out carry an anti-mage with some, I don't know, sorry, not Medusa, because Medusa actually gets countered.
Here's some stats for you. I'll answer the question with some actual statistics. Okay, we've got Medusa.
23% win rate.
Yeah, exactly. 23% win rate at the major for anti-mage over 13 games. Meanwhile, Visage, 60% win rate. This is a hero that people really like picking in the safe lane. And then Terrorblade, 60% win rate. So, yes, anti-mage is bad.
I think like just imagine a situation. I keep seeing this. This is like the number one situation that I see with the anti-mage. Somebody picks anti-mage, enemy team picks Beastmaster. No other picks matter because anti-mage doesn't do enough to ever contribute in the timing that a Beastmaster will push your entire base.
Yeah.
So it's like all of the other picks don't matter because BM will get so much in the lane, and then anti-mage won't come online before Beastmaster's taking 2 of his racks. And it's like this Beastmaster hero is like one of the most popular offlaners in this patch, probably the best offlaner. And you can't pick anti-mage against it. And that's not even including the fact that people are picking like Nature's Mid. People are picking Medusa, which gets countered by anti-mage, but not if you go for an early game push lineup. People are picking Tiny. People are picking Huskar. People are picking Sven going Vlad. People are picking Visage safe lane. People are picking Pugna, which also would get countered by anti-mage, but the timing is better. So it's like either timing or he loses to the hero. That's the problem. It's like it's one or the other, and both cases are very common in this patch.
Yeah, anti-mage has basically one playstyle, and that is to take the game to like mid-late, and that's about it. And that's just not a good way to win Dota currently.
Dude, there's John Callahan. He's here. John Callahan every time. John Callahan Sr., my boy. JCJ.
Juicy J.
The original Juicy J. He's finally here. I was waiting for him, man. What's going on? What happened with the sub on your site? Why did you shut that down? I was a sub. Makes me sad, We have the Patreon now, so we do lots of Patreon only stuff.
Basically, we shut down the sub site because we just didn't want to be locking away content behind a paywall like so many other sites do, and we just wanted to be able to give everybody all of the content that we could. However, obviously, both of us have to pay rent and eat food, and so that's why we have Patreon instead, and have monetized our videos now on YouTube, is because without that, we would have to go work in a mill or something like that, and then there would be no time or energy to make Dota videos. If I'm being perfectly honest. If I had a full-time job, I wouldn't make any more videos, and that would be the end of Dota Alchemy.
Yeah, it's like Red Eye tweeted something. He's like, esports and stuff is it's not like we're laying bricks and building houses and stuff, but yeah, it does take time to like play the game and make videos and do streams and stuff like that. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it takes time, and there's only 16 hours in a day if you're sleeping for 8 hours, and then like there's travel time. Like if you want to do any exercise, you have to include that. Eating takes time, showering, getting ready takes time. So it's like really, in the end of the day, like how many hours do you really have to do things in your day? And like if you're working, that's eight hours a day, so you have 8 hours left, and you have to include showering, travel, working out, whatever it is.
When we started Dota Alchemy, like when we found out that Pugna was closing and we had like 2 months to figure out what was going on, I basically worked like 19 to 20 hours a day for like 3.5 or 4 months.
So did I. Yeah.
And then I slept for like a month afterwards because I was just so exhausted from everything.
Yeah, I was like coding the site, doing other stuff to like pay rent, making videos, setting up like SSL on the server. We had to set up the channel, the social media stuff, like scripting videos. I don't know. It was a pain. Those were some rough 2 months, man. I gotta say, it's like we've gotten in a groove, so we have like a system now that's a lot better. I don't know how you're feeling, Donnie, about this, but I feel way less stressed. But man, those first 2 months, like my girlfriend could tell you, I was busting ass. Holy shit. It was.
Yeah, I didn't sleep very much.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens when you figure out that your like source of income is like, all right, you have 2 months.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to like lose a job, you know?
Well, because we did.
That's true. That is accurate.
Anyway, all right. Heather Shadelight asks, "What are your thoughts on Rubik mid? I've been having a blast spamming him on my first Battle Cup 3 days ago with him as well." And my first response would be, if you're having a blast with playing Rubik mid, then continue to do so, because if you're having fun playing Dota, you're probably playing better than you would otherwise. As far as Rubik mid in a meta sense and in a like quality of hero sense, I think that we covered this maybe in a different Q&A section at some point, but basically what it came down to is that currently the mid lane is a role that is sort of without purpose to some extent. And when I say that, I mean that it doesn't have like a very super defined meta to it. Now
you can do whatever the fuck you want, basically.
Yeah, a lot of the times the mids are kind of just like this utility core that does whatever or provides a huge amount of damage, or sometimes is the one, or sometimes is literally just a like third support or second offlaner, depending on the game and depending on what the rest of the lineup is. And I think that Rubik fits that role pretty well. So yes,
if your carry is like a strong hard carry, I would say a lot of the mids these days are like some sort of semi carry hero, and Rubik is okay at that, but he's more of like Donnie said, like kind of another offlaner. Probably a little bit better. Well, I don't know. If it, like he's like a Beastmaster-esque offlaner. Like he can carry by virtue of having like super effective, stuns and stealing spells, and like a utility kind of carry. Like he doesn't really do damage, but he's like still going to be very effective in the late game. But if you need your mid laner to do damage, then Rubik's not your play. But for the most part, like, if you have a Slark or a Terrorblade, like you don't need any fucking damage.
Yeah.
Like those heroes do way too much. Like you really don't. So you can kind of pick what you want for the most part. It just depends. Really, I would say you need to be looking at your carry role, because it's like the mid and the carry that are kind of interchangeable right now.
Yep.
Just depending on who benefits more from what.
What is our prediction on who wins the Chongqing Major?
It's Chongqing.
Chongqing Major.
I've been corrected on that so many times that I've just been saying it, even though it's a very risky thing to because if you fuck that up, man,
yeah, you're in trouble.
You are in some serious demonetization areas going on. I would say VP. I mean, that it's so obvious to choose like the team that has won so many majors in the past and the team that just beat LGD. But it's like VP LGD. Let me look at the brackets.
I mean, VP destroyed LGD. I don't know. I honestly think the Secret's going to win.
You think so?
Upper bracket finals, the Secret versus VP. Here's the thing. If Solo, because they're playing with Arzik instead of Solo, because Solo is super sick.
Is he out of the hospital though? Like, is he back? Is he chill now?
That's the thing, is if Solo is fine and he's playing with the team, I would probably go VP. If he's not, then I'd probably go Secret. I don't see anyone else besides them winning based on their level of play currently and their strategy and all of that. As much as I hate to say it, like those are the teams that are in the upper bracket final, and they just seem to be much better than everybody else.
Team Secret is like the only tier 1 non-Chinese team, like clearly tier 1 non-Chinese team that doesn't have a stand-in.
Yeah.
that is like a pretty nice thing for them. I mean, I guess there's Evil Geniuses, but
they just haven't looked like a tier 1 team lately.
They've looked a little rough. Yeah, they looked a little rough. they have lower bracket runs though too. They definitely do. I could see them. I see them going through the lower bracket and getting like third.
Yeah.
I don't see them getting first. I see them going through the lower bracket and getting third. I see VP just like potentially stomping their way through, or Secret. And realistically, if like you said, if VP does have a stand-in, then I mean, Secret VP is already like a close matchup.
Yeah.
Without a stand-in, so it's definitely but it is their manager and coach, and I know he's like a high-rated Dota player as well. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I don't like the fact that like we're making judgments based off of stand-ins. It's honestly not it's way less like interesting to be like, oh, Liquid can't have Miracle for like X reasons, so they just are way worse.
Well, but it's true though, because you have so much time invested into getting your communication, your play down. Like, you know, we just watched True Sight. How much were those guys talking in the games? They were talking, but they weren't like constantly communicating. They just knew what everybody was going to do and trusted each other.
Exactly. It changes the whole dynamic of a team to get another player, no matter how good they are. I mean, Shadow's a TI winner, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's a completely different player.
What is the ideal time to spend on playing Dota in a single day for you guys?
Like 3 or 4 hours if I really want to play. And any more than that is like getting into binge queue / excessive territory where I'm not playing because I want to play, and I'm not playing because I'm motivated. I'm playing because I'm getting endorphin rushes from the potential of winning MMR, and that's like such a horrible reason to play. The reason that I don't play as many pubs as I used to. And I think like my play, if I were to play in like a competitive team, I would play significantly better right now. And when I have played on a competitive team like recently in the past 2 to 3 months, my performance and ability to not choke, I guess, was much better. And I quit for different reasons, like financial reasons, because it costs a lot of money to just sit there playing games all day, and it's better to just like cast and to make videos and stuff in terms of money. But in any case, like performance wise, because I'm playing less, I didn't have the same issues that I had before on teams. Different issues, like you'll always have issues on a team, of course, because you're trying to be competitive, but I didn't have the same issues that I had before. And I think it's because when you're motivated to play, when you actually want to play a game, you don't risk at all going into like autopilot mode. And you're much better at learning things quickly. You're much better at reacting on the fly in games. You're much better at not allowing yourself to get emotional because you actually just really want to play the game. Like there's a whole shitload of benefits to it. I would love to see some scientific study on something like this so I could actually have information to back this up. But I really think that there's a whole lot of cognitive ability in your brain that gets better when you're actually motivated to do something. But once again, like I said, it's anecdotal for me, so I don't have any like stats for you or anything. I'm sure there is stats out there, but that's why I would say like 3 to 4 hours. And I would say if you don't like games, you probably couldn't play at all because Dota takes a lot out of you. But I personally really like video games. I really like Dota. So 3 to 4 hours for me like works because anything after that is like I'm gonna be burnt out and not actually want to play.
Yeah, for me, I can probably get even a little bit more specific. I would say that I can never play more than 3 games without experiencing a huge I'm talking consecutive. I can't play 3 games in a row without experiencing a huge loss in my ability to win and cognitively make decisions and play at a high level on that 4th game. So never more than 3, and most likely 1 or 2 at a time. As far as the amount I could play in a day, I mean, I could probably play up to 6 if I was splitting it up. But generally, I only play like 1 or 2 games of Dota a day because I have to make videos and do all this other stuff. So that's pretty ideal to me.
Do you guys have other jobs other than Dota Alchemy? I see your Patreon only gets like $500. Well, our Patreon's up to more than 5. I don't know what it says publicly, but I mean our Patreon's up to $700 or something, which is a good chunk of rent if you are paying for cheap rent. Like I share rent with my girlfriend, so that pays for a portion of it. And then our YouTube ad revenue, is it like intelligent to say how much YouTube ad revenue we're making?
I don't know. Probably not, because we've only been monetizing for like 2 weeks, so we don't really know.
It's true. It's true.
Essentially, to answer your question, Hanzo, we don't currently make enough money from what we're doing to fully sustain ourselves, which is why both of us are doing casting and freelance and other stuff. And we're just trying to make it happen. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But currently, we really like making Dota videos and talking to you guys and doing all this stuff. And so we're just doing that and seeing what happens.
Yeah, basically, it's like I can say it's getting there. It's like I could see it get there, but we're gonna need to keep working for at least, you know, a few more months before it just barely scrapes us by.
Yeah,
which is great. I love that. I would love to just scrape by with Dota Alchemy. That would be amazing. Yeah. That's perfect for me. I'm good with that.
If I could 100% focus on this, that would be great. But I mean, I currently work another job on the weekends, and both of us are doing casting and other stuff as well. So
yeah, yep.
Let's take one more question, and we've been going for about an hour. So, what is a good practice routine for someone in low elo below 1K? Currently, I practice last hitting and training Polygon and watch your videos. And if I pick up on anything, I will try to do it in a game.
Okay, so below 1K, I would say for the most part below 1K, you just like want to play the game and probably learn the heroes, learn the mechanics. I don't know. Do you I know you've played on your 1K Smurf and stuff and coached a lot of people that are near the 1K mark. What would you say? What would you say to that? What do you
I would say that the most important thing at 1K is to expand your awareness of what is happening at every given time in the game, because I think that basically everyone that is actually 1K at the 1K level or below is so focused on just their hero and like moving their hero that they have almost no awareness of even last hits that are near them or clearly anything else on the map. They like basically never look at the mini map. And so a lot of it is just kind of expanding your awareness and starting to do things faster. And I would actually practice stuff like if you use training Polygon, I would actually practice the aim challenge, which gets you to click on various places on the map.
Mouse accuracy?
Yeah, it's basically mouse accuracy. Like there's FPS like aim trainers and stuff like that. But basically everyone at 1K and below is just really slow at everything that they do because they just are taking so long to contemplate or find things. So just familiarize yourself with the UI, familiarize yourself with shopping. I think that's a huge part. Making shopping happen faster, making using the courier happen faster, checking the minimap and clicking on other people, your teammates and other heroes happen faster. And once you can do that kind of stuff quickly, then you can stop freaking out so much about just always looking at your hero because you're like, oh, my mid needs help. You click on the minimap and you come back and you've already gained that much information to know whether you should TP there or not, and you haven't missed any last hits.
I personally think that like so I've been playing Smash recently, and I never played Smash before, and Mott and my girlfriend Ellie, I've been playing with them, and they're like Smash players, and I really sucked at the start, but I got to the point where I was able to beat them. In particular, when I'm playing like one specific character, I'm able to beat them. So I guess I would say that my advice is the same for Dota, is like to make things simple for yourself and just learn the game as a whole. Pick one character you really like and just focus on that until you learn all of the intricacies of the game and with that character, and then expand outward. And that will get you to like higher MMR quicker, which will give you better practice. But basically, whenever you look at like the skill growth of an individual, whenever they first learn something, it's always exponential at the start and then plateau and then like a little bit and then plateau and then a little bit, but it slows down. So basically at the start, I would say that like you don't need to do training Polygon and stuff like that. You just need to play, because your growth should be so fast at the 1K level that it's already very efficient. You'll already learn so much because there's so much you don't know about the game that there's no point in trying to make that efficient. Where you want to make your practice efficient is when you plateau. So I would say like you probably just want to play the game, pick one hero, make it as simple as possible for you to like learn the nuances of the game without overcomplicating with like heroes and all of these other things, and just play the game, just keep playing until you really get it. And if you feel uncomfortable with something, then just keep playing until it's not uncomfortable. You know, it's like, and then once you actually start feeling comfortable and getting everything, then you can start like expanding heroes and learning like this thing that you're not good at. For example, when I started playing Smash, like I had no idea how to shield, and I still barely shield, but like I just didn't bother with it because there were so many other things that I needed to learn that were more integral than like shielding and dodging with the shield. And I mean that's like super basic stuff, and yet it was like I completely ignored it. And then I got to the point where I'm not like a good Smash player or something, but I can beat my girlfriend. I can beat Mott, who have been playing for like 8 years. So it's like that's just the nature of like learning something right at the start. Is that you'll get to the point where you're pretty good pretty fast, as long as you're not like overcomplicating it for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for your questions. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you want to be part of the next stream, which will be a replay review stream, Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, PST, we are going to be doing replay review stream. We're going to be taking replays from our Patreon supporters, but you guys are all welcome to show up and watch basically live coaching sessions with a bunch of people. So we hope we'll see you there. Thank you as always for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.